Hi, this is Manju. Today we're going to learn how to create a pivot table from a data set. This is useful because it's often a little bit more efficient than using subtotals to create a summary, or definitely more efficient than creating a summary by hand. Oftentimes we have an export of fees, disbursements, and we want to create a timekeeper breakdown that summarizes the fees by timekeeper. The way that we would typically do this is by copying the fees tab, ordering everything by timekeeper using a sort, and then using subtotals here, making sure that we subtotal by timekeeper name and add up base amount and base hours. This effectively gives us a breakdown of total base amount and hours by timekeeper. Instead of doing that, let's do the same thing using a pivot table. First, I'm going to add a new tab. Let's call this Summary. Insert Pivot Table. In this table range area, go back to the Fees tab, click on the top left cell, hold down Control and Shift while you click the right arrow one time and the down arrow one time. This should effectively select all of the information we have in our export. Hit Enter. Now I'm going to put a row on top of this. I need to remember the order that we had all of our information in. Okay, so we're going to try and keep the same order for our pivot table, except the base amount and base hours will be moved all the way to the right, and then all of the categorical or words are going to be on the left. Let's start with ID, date, timekeeper, timekeeper name, client, matter, and when I get to base amount, I'm putting that in the value section. Base hours to the value section. Narrative is categorical, so I'll put that in the rows section. Okay, I no longer need these titles. I'm going to unbold my row headers. And now in order to do the subtotals, we're going to want to move the item that we want to subtotal to the front. So if I want to subtotal by timekeeper name, I'm going to move that to the front. Since timekeeper code goes with name, I'll move that second. Everything else we can leave in the same order. Let me make these a little wider. Okay, now that we have our data in the order we want, and I made the columns a little bit wider to see what's in there, our last step is to subtotal by timekeeper. So we would right-click in the timekeeper column, and then we're going to select subtotal timekeeper name. We're officially done here. I'm going to take a final few moments to do some formatting. I'm going to freeze the top rows by selecting the first data row, go to View, Freeze Panes, Freeze Panes. Now, no matter how far down I scroll, the titles stay at the top. I would also like to make the titles a nice dark blue color with white font and make them bold. I'd like to make sure that my subtotals here stay bold, and I'm going to make them stand out a little bit. So I'm going to hover on one of them until I see that black arrow, click. Let's make them light gray and bold. And then I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of our spreadsheet, and I'll make the bottom the same dark blue with white font and bold. We've summarized this table into a pivot table, and now it's subtotaled by name. You can actually save this file and then keep reusing it even if you get new data. Let's say you want to do the next month's pre-bill. You can delete everything in here, repaste the new information, go to summary, and all I would have to do to update is go to Pivot Table Analyze, change data source, and I'm going to select the data. You can either do it by clicking and dragging, or you can click the top left corner, hold Control Shift, click once to the right, click once down, and hit Enter. That was a really quick update. Now we know how to create a pivot table from a data set. Thank you.